Good afternoon, brothers and sisters. How are you all today? You feel bored? This talk is for those who are bored. So if you are not bored, you are in the wrong talk. Before we jump into the topic for today, let me see on my left side. Welcome, welcome. Yeah. Welcome. Don't worry, you are just half an hour late. I heard, welcome, welcome. You are just half an hour late. Find a seat. Recently there was a student who told me that when they went to this retreat, I think was a Theravadan monk, maybe Thai tradition. So the Ajahn, whoever is late, they actually lock the door. Yeah, and then gave them a good scolding. So many years later, this student of mine can still remember that Ajahn, and all of them can remember him because of that. When this was shared to me, I almost chuckled, because many years back, when I was having the group cultivation, an earlier version of this, I remember it started off in the weekday for the youth, and at that point in time it was purely for the youth. So it was weekday and we started at 6:30 p.m. Or was it 6? I think it was 6:30. And of course, when we have it at 6:30, there will be people who arrive at 6:15. Yeah, there will be those who are like, cannot be any earlier. 6:30 sharp, they will arrive. Then there will also be those who arrive at 6:40, 6:45. There are even those who arrive at 7. So after maybe quite a few weeks or maybe even months, so I asked them one day, I mean that particular day there was a bit of compassion arising, you know. So I asked them, yeah, not much, I don't have much compassion. For the records, yeah, I don't have much compassion. Yeah, if there's anything I'm known for, it's not for compassion. You see, they also laugh. Yeah. So I asked them, like, is 6:30 too rush for you all? Then they're, hey, yes, Sư Phụ. You all don't have time for a dinner. I said, yes, Sư Phụ. Would it be good if we shift it to 7 o'clock? And they say, oh, very good, very good. Yeah, so we decided to shift it to 7 o'clock. When we shift to 7 o'clock, those who used to come at 6:15 come at 6:45. Those who used to come at 6:30, they come at 7. Those who used to come at 6:45, they come at 7:15. So we tried that for a few weeks, and then I'm like, I asked them, is it still too early? I think we shifted at least twice. So we probably end up as 7:30. And when it was 7:30, those who were 15 minutes earlier still come 15 minutes earlier. So they arrive at 7:15. Those who are on time are still just zun, cannot be 5 minutes earlier. So one day, I remember at a point in time, they were actually in the container. They had a container for the they had a container, very nice, no? Containers can be very nice, can be very long also. I remember there was one day, I don't know, I can't say that it's out of compassion, but I told them when it was time to start, I said, lock the door. Yeah, I can hear them clearly standing outside, chit-chatting like no end, you know, 煲粥. Yeah, I say lock the door. Then they're like, oh, some of them haven't come yet. I say, well, they know that, you know, they know the timing, right? So I locked the door, then we started. And sure enough, immediately there are people knocking on the door. I say, ignore, we continue. When we finish the puja, then we let them in. Yeah. So when I there's an Ajahn who scolded them, I'm like, all monks, we're all like the same. Yeah, so anyway, yeah. We used to start at 2, then we shifted to 1, then recently we shifted to 1:30. Those who come earlier, they'll still come early. Those who come late, will still come late. Anyway, we have a new person here today with us. Tell us your name. Don't worry, we are not going to convert you. You're already a Buddhist. Tell us your name and how you got to know about this group.
My name is Jing Ye. I'm from Singapore Polytechnic Buddhist Society. I'm
Yeah.
a student.
And how did you end up coming here? Yeah, you have to tell them. I know, but they don't know.
I came here through like a contact because we were finding for a spiritual advisor for our CCA club. So we went through contact and I get to meet our venerable Chuan Guan. So yeah, I came here.
Yeah.
Especially invite him. But sadly the community won't be free this week, so I hope to have another day so like the community can come down.
Yeah. After today, probably will never come again. Yeah. Well, welcome. We have another newcomer. Yes, guy in purple shirt, purple t-shirt.
Hi everybody, my name is Irawan. I'm from Indonesia. I've been staying in Singapore for 12 years. Actually, I'm not really a religious person. I come here because I was advised by my sister, mother. So this is my first time here.
Yeah, when he says sister, mother, it means her friend's mother, his friend, whom he considered like his sister. Yeah. Otherwise, it sounds very complicated. Welcome. Yeah, so everyone joined us for the Youth ITBW a couple of weeks back, and then he went back on a trip. Then this week just came back. Yeah, welcome back, and welcome to SGC. Let me see. The guy in red behind. Have you introduced yourself before? Okay. Tell us your name.
I am Sun Hao. So I think I came for the Buddhist fellowship, whereas the time we were given a talk over there. Like that's the first time because previously I heard people about Sifu, so I just thought, okay, I'll just hear.
Okay.
So I thought, okay, it was quite funny at that talk. Today I decided, where else can I hear more talks on Sifu? Then they say, at Buddhist library 1:30, then I said okay. But
Okay.
I think today I came late, so that's the first time
Yeah, the one at Buddhist Fellowship, that was the demo. This one is the real thing. You come here, get scolded one. Welcome. Yeah. Was it the talk on technology or a previous one?
The one in February, the one at Telok Blangah.
Well, the one at Telok Blangah. So should be the technology Bane or Boon, is it?
So
Forgot. Okay. Well, welcome. Welcome to SGC, where we have short chanting, short meditation, and babies to join in. Yeah. Did you all get disturbed by the babies earlier? Did you all? Or were you all fast asleep? Yeah. This is one of the features of SGC. Usually when we have meditation classes or group cultivation, it's usually like very silent. Yeah. And many times when young parents bring their kids, then they are a bit concerned. Is it okay? Can we bring them? I'm like, yeah, just bring them. Then is there any age limit? I said, no age limit, just bring. If needed, I can even bring toys for them. Yeah. So the thing is, we sometimes have this wrong conception. Yeah, we have a wrong perception that, you know, when we meditate, it must be in absolute silence. Yeah, it's wonderful if you can get absolute silence. But if you've ever been to an actual meditation center, yeah, especially those in the outskirts of forest, you will realize that it is not as silent as you may think it to be. Yeah, except for one so far that I've attended, and that one is the monastery I was ordained under. It is in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, really middle of nowhere. It is in the state of New Mexico in US, mid-south. It's in the middle of a national reserve forest. So it's so quiet, you don't even hear birds. It's so quiet, you don't hear cars, you don't hear planes. At most, maybe you hear the snow sliding off the roof. These are the exact words of a visitor who stayed for one night and the next day come to me and beg me to let him go. Not that we were holding him prisoner. Yeah, but we were happy to have him with us, to join us for the practice. But after one night, he came to me and literally begged me and tell me that, oh, he left his things in the other campus, can he go and get it? He didn't bring enough clothes, you know. And I kept telling him like, oh, don't worry, we have extra clothing in the store, you know, you can help yourself. So, oh, but I didn't bring toiletries. Oh, don't worry, we have one whole store of toiletries. Yeah, until he broke down. I was in my early 30s. Yeah, I was the guest monk, so I had to assist him. He was probably in his 40s. Yeah, minimally 40s. And halfway through, don't laugh at people lah. Halfway through, that man broke down and he cried. And he told me he cannot take it. Yeah, not everybody can deal with silence. Yeah, some people find that it's boring. Yeah, some people find that it's very nice. But not everybody can deal with it. Today's topic is on dealing with boredom with the Dharma. I think as I was going through my mind, you know, over the weeks thinking about this topic, I was also thinking that some of you sometimes would just come anyway, regardless of the topic, because you will come. So sometimes you may not even know the topic. Some of you may come because of the topic, yeah, but either way, today we're going to take a look at this thing called boredom. A show of hands, how many of you have experienced boredom? Raise your hand. Okay, very good. How many of you are bored now? Okay, good. Yeah, you have to quickly say, okay, good, so that, you know, at most like one kid over there. Yeah. Hey girl, come over here. I assure you, one very easy way to fight your boredom, come and sit next to me. And you will not be bored again. I thought I will share with you a bit about my own experience of boredom. And then I will share with you, very quickly, my worldly way of dealing with it. And then perhaps later we'll discuss how Dharma can come in, okay? And we also explore different reasons, yeah, different types of boredom, yeah. For me, actually, I have a hard time thinking of a time when I'm bored. My first, perhaps, experience of boredom is in Chinese class. Yeah, I'm serious. Well, in case of my teacher, I think they should be quite old now. If they ever chance upon this video, don't take it personally. and know that I've come to love the language and the culture and everything. But perhaps it was not the class. Perhaps it was doing the homework. Yeah, because for me, anything repetition was boring. Yeah, where you have to like write the characters. Yeah, the homework, Chinese homework for me was always, perhaps saying that it was a boredom was an understatement. Yeah, it was some kind of torture. Yeah, Sean, you feel that way? You feel me? You feel me? Yes, say yes. Huh?
You feel that for literature.
You feel that for literature? Yeah. For each of us, we may feel differently for different subjects, yeah, but we all have our own poison. Or rather, no, this is not the poison, because usually we say our own poison is something that you take willingly that is bad for you. We all have our own torture device. So Chinese language was quite boring for me. Yeah. But if I were to really think about it, it was also boring because I wasn't good at it. Yeah, I wasn't good at it. But for a long time, I never really think about it that way. Yeah, I just felt that it didn't make sense. Yeah, I like how there's some structure in the English language, and practically every other subject there's some kind of structure. For some reason, I actually like literature. Yeah, I actually like literature. Merchant of Venice, Macbeth, or else The Lightning God, and Animal Farm. It's just that the lecturers, the teachers didn't like my answer. Yeah. Yeah. For Chinese, it's different. They don't like my answer, and I don't like the language also. Yeah. I remember Chinese homework was, if the class was boring, the homework was really a torture. Yeah, because the homework was the thing that is keeping me from the playground. I mean, for a kid, playing, and I mean, everything is about play, you know? Yeah, even a pen cap. You give me plasticine, pen cap, boom, spaceship. Yeah, but suddenly I have to do homework. Yeah, so besides the fact that I'm not good at it, so, what else is boring for me? In the past few years, when I thought that I cannot be bored anymore, yeah, I thought that, you know, after learning Dharma, I would not be bored again. There was once, I will not say the place or country, and when I say country, you know that it's not in Singapore. I won't say which country. I don't want to be banned from any of the centers. But I was at one place, they had this very grand ceremony, and there was actually a program sheet. Yeah. Do you all sometimes when you attend SGC feel like Sifu is going on and like overshoot time, you know, whether SGC or classes, and I just keep on going on, and you feel like, when is he ever going to stop? Yeah. If you think that I'm like bad with this, I tell you, I met my match. So there was a timetable, there was a program sheet, and there was supposed to be this grand ceremony, opening of a center, and I attended it. And initially, it was still okay. You know, there was the chanting. The thing about chanting is we usually think Chinese chanting goes on forever. Wait till you experience it from other traditions where it's a full ceremony. Like the front part, I still know, you know, that Namo Tassa Bhagavad, like what we chanted. And then after that, after the standard ones were over, like Mangala Sutta, Jaya Mangala Sutta, and the works, then Metta Sutta, and then they went on to other suttas. I was like, really? Is this going to continue? Then I was like, okay, you know, I'm a monk. I have to be. I should not be feeling such in a way, you know. But this was still okay. But after all the chanting was over, then the speeches came. Yeah, the speeches, one after another. And I'll tell you, I sat through most of them. At some point, and I was seated like front row, so I couldn't really move around. And then at some point, was I front row? Was I even front row? Quite front. At some point, I look around and I realized most people behind us left. And they were the locals. So I was like, okay, I don't feel so bad now if I have to move. That was, in my known memory, in the past recent years, that was the one time I got really so like, I was so bored, I had difficulty keeping my eyes open. Yeah. Yeah, I really tried. So boredom can come at different points in time. Yeah, boredom can come at different points in time. For me, it was when it was repetitive, when it was something that I was not good at, and when I don't see an end in place. Yeah, then boredom arises. But what exactly is boredom? Now is the time where you all got to dig deep in, search yourself, search your feelings, and tell me, what is boredom to you? Because we need to examine this first. First of all, before you all go into like what boredom means to you, is boredom something that strikes you as something that you want? For most people, no. Yeah, most people don't want to be bored, isn't it? It's almost like by definition. Is there any circumstances or reason, good reasons for us to be bored? Can you all think of one or two? You were nodding your head, or you were like, good point. But oh, I thought you have a okay.
Good place to be bored.
Army.
Better to be bored than to be siong.
Okay. Yeah. So this is called, comparative suffering, the choice of the two evil. Yeah. Better to be bored than to be siong. Okay. Yeah. So just when you thought you are having it bad, you are bored, know that it can always get worse. What else? What else? Okay, not your interest. So in a case where it's not your interest, you'll be bored. Are there any reasons for us to be bored that is a good reason, besides the not siong reason?
When you're bored in army, you're safe.
You're safe, okay. I can.
Nothing, so you're safe.
Okay. This is a recurring theme. Yes. It is said that traumatic experiences can leave a very strong imprint in us. For me, it's Chinese language. For you, it's army. But it's true. For many people, army, there's this, for the ladies, your guy friends may or may not have shared this with you. But there's this phrase among army boys and ex-army boys. It is, we rush to wait, we wait to rush. Yeah, or something like that. Yeah. We throughout a whole day, we are just rushing from point A to point B and then doing nothing there. Yeah. And then after that, rush again to another point, then wait there. It's like if we're going to wait anyway, why do we have to rush? Might as well just take it easy, right? Why make us like fall in 30 seconds time when we're going to fall in and then, okay, you all wait. After falling in and then okay, number of, okay, finish, okay, report, okay, sit down, wait. It's like, okay, if you're going to sit for 5 minutes, might as well give us 5 minutes to get ready, right? So yeah, army has its share of boredom. How about the ladies? Yesterday, was it yesterday or 2 days ago? 2 days ago was the Sampa Fu Ni Jie, right? Yeah. I don't know why they choose 8th of March. Is there any special reason? Is it really the Chinese Sampa? Huh? Really? Is it really? Yeah. Do you know Sampa Fu Ni Jie? The Women's Day, International Women's Day. So ladies, your chance to speak. Yeah. In SGC, men and women have equal speaking rights. What get you all bored? Huh? Wait for toilet. Ah. So things that don't interest us, wait for toilet. How would you describe waiting for toilet? Queuing. Yeah. How would you all describe queuing? Unproductive. Meaning that you are doing something, or you are doing something that doesn't amount to anything, seemingly. Yeah.
Not gaining any benefit over your time spent.
Ah, not gaining any benefit over the time spent. So that would include queuing. That would include welcome. That would include waiting for the bus. What do y'all do when you wait for the bus? You all don't take bus, huh?
Listen music, watch manga.
Watch manga, watch video, surf YouTube, surf Instagram. Yeah, just do something else, including like when you are watching TV and then advertisement come up. Yeah, sometimes we may even just respond to the anticipated boredom before boredom really kick in. Because think about it, when is the last time you felt bored? Please don't say 5 minutes ago. Yeah, like the past week, other than today, the past week, 1 week. Can you all describe, can some of you share your last experience of boredom? Yes?
Nothing to occupy me.
Like when? Yesterday. And when was that? Yesterday was Saturday, so nothing to do.
Got lah, but there's a period of time where I'm free.
And then what did you do as a result? Find people to disturb. Go and delete one event and then, Zhu Ping, I deleted something. Yeah, Zhu Ping, now you know why. Yeah, when people ask you for help, it's because they got bored. Delete. Zhu Ping, can you help me? I deleted something. Who else got bored recently? Waiting for an answer. When we text somebody, we hope or we expect. How fast do you expect the results? Now, or now later, or now 5 minutes.
Depends on how the situation requires quick response.
So.
Let's say you want it answers soon, your expectation then will be.
So when you text someone, you text and then you just stare at the screen. And then you look at the ticks. Gray, 1 tick, 2 tick. And then you see online, but it's still double gray. Online, double gray. So first you type, "Good morning, Shifu." Then shortly after that you see online. Then you see double tick, gray. Then you're like, yeah. So what do y'all do when you are bored in this way? How do y'all deal with it? Huh? Then go and ask somebody else. Yeah, ask until someone reply to you. It happens sometimes. Yeah. Anybody else besides these circumstances? How about work? How come nobody mentioned about work? Were you bored during work? No. Do you all feel bored sometimes at work?
Yes.
What are the yes? So when do you feel bored at work? Doing repetitive tasks. Routine work. What else? Do you all ever get bored when your boss is scolding you? Is that? No, it'd be funny if your boss is like, can you, what? Then you, I'm sorry, but yeah, heard this many times. Yeah. No, please don't do that. This is not part of the solution. Yeah, you do that, you'll be fired. So different circumstances, yeah. How many of you cook at home? Do you feel bored cooking? No, Probably those who don't really cook. Is there anyone who ever feel bored while cooking? Washing vegetables, the preparation. How about the preparation? Yeah, good point. Preparation. How about the washing up? How many of you enjoy washing up? Like for you, the highlight of the meal is the wash up. Anyone? Yeah. Who? Oh, I thought you say yeah. You were like, oh, yeah. So, if we look at all these different circumstances, what is the common denominator? What is common throughout? We all feel differently, slightly, yeah. But the element of boredom has this common trait, which is that it is about something that you don't like, don't want, or if given a choice, would prefer not to have. Yeah, either the experience, or perhaps a person. Have you ever get bored with a person? Your friend. Okay, that was a yeah. You want to tell us more? Yeah, you don't have to tell us the name. Yeah, but it happens. Yeah, it happens. Sometimes, especially recently, yeah, Chinese New Year, yeah, when we had to meet your long-time relative, do you all feel bored when you meet them? Maybe sometimes, yeah. And especially now in Singapore, because sometimes it feels like we are so, the country is so small anyway. Yeah, you can meet anytime. But the part about Chinese New Year meetup being boring, yeah, also has to do with a change in our lifestyle. Yeah, the closely knittedness of families is a bit different now. Yeah, I remember when I was maybe in primary school, my mom maybe once a week will out of the blue like bring me out and go and visit this Lao Yi, this don't know what, which auntie, very old. Then I go there. I can't remember most of them. And then I go there. Then they will pat my head, pat my, and then wow, ni tua hang liu ho. Yeah, and because back then in the 80s, there's no handphone. So sometimes I remember a common scene is when we arrive, ding dong, and then some stranger open the door, and the person is a few generations down compared to my mom. So the person don't even know my mom don't know the person, but then my mom introduced herself as so and so, and then asked to meet this whoever who is the grand auntie or grandmother of this person who opened the door. Yeah, and a common thing was the person is not in. And strangely enough, people will just let us in. Yeah. The person, although we are supposed to be relative, but don't know us, Yeah, and last time no Facebook. Give me a second, let me check. But we'll still let us in. We'll sit down, and then there'll be that awkward, because sit down. Nowadays, I don't know how it works, but last time they will have to entertain us, right? They'll pour us some water, maybe offer some of the Dutch cookies. Last time the blue color tin Dutch cookies. That's like standby. There's always a Dutch cookie tin standby for impromptu guests. Yeah. The guests that you don't value them so much, you offer the Chuan Guan biscuit. Yeah. Those that you are quite close but not so close but never meet for a long time, then we'll open up, then you'll take the photo album from below and go through and look, you know. Yeah, then there'll be all those awkward questions. And sometimes that can be boring. Yeah. For me as a kid, it was sometimes boring. Yeah, sometimes boring. Yeah, so sometimes with people it can be boring. Yeah. Sometimes with circumstances. But the thread that ties them all together, it is to use a Buddhist term, is an aversion towards it. Yeah, to use modern terms would be you don't feel good about it, maybe even negative about it. Yeah, it's a negative experience. And in a way it can be summed up with that we are not getting any benefit from the activity. Yeah? We don't see any potential benefit from it. And worse is when you don't see an end to it. Yeah, especially in the army, you never know when it's going to end. Yeah, because they can just go all the way until at night. Yeah. So, how do we deal with this? Yeah, with the Dharma. First question before we deal with it is to ask ourselves: do we really have to deal with it? And that's part of the dealing with it. It is because we feel averse that we feel like dealing with it. But the Buddha's teaching on aversion is not always to go and change it. Our habit is always to change what we don't like. Yeah, to remove, to change into something we like, or to shift ourselves to find something that we like. From pain, we go to experience pleasure. Yeah. But from the teachings, we learn that actually pleasure is suffering in hiding. Yeah. It is a transient form. It's a latent form of suffering. Perhaps that's why we are never quite satisfied. Yeah? Because we try to solve boredom with a different form of suffering. Yeah. In one of the sutta, the Buddha mentioned about how when he was still a bodhisattva practicing, he would do pacing, yeah, basically what we call walking meditation. Yeah, he would pace from one end to the other end, and then turn around and he would pace back. And then sometimes he would alternate between doing that and doing sitting. Yeah. What's interesting about that sutta is it was highlighted that sometimes when he's doing pacing, fear arises in him. Sometimes when he's doing sitting, fear arises in him. Now I know fear is quite different from boredom. Yeah. When you walk back home and you encounter a dog, do you ever get bored with that? Boring. Yeah, no. So on one hand, it seems quite different. Yeah, but the underlying nature of these two experiences is the same. Yeah, something that we don't want. And if we can take a leaf from the Buddha's own experience of it, is what he did is, it is said, when fear arises in him, when he's doing pacing, he does not change his stance. He does not change what he's doing. Yeah, but he continued doing it. He watched the fear and he continued to face it. Yeah? If he's standing, he continues standing. If he's walking, he continues walking. Yeah? He don't like run away from that fear. If he's sitting and fear arises, he don't run away from the fear. But he continues observing the fear while he's sitting. And he does this until the fear subsides and goes away. If there's something that we can perhaps glean from this is, maybe we can try this approach. Yeah? That when boredom arises, instead of just trying to seek pleasure, instead of trying to seek something more pleasant, more interesting, more beneficial, yeah? But to watch that boredom. Early on I asked, how many of you have felt boredom recently? Now if we were to ask a deeper question, how many of you experience boredom and really watch it? Yeah? To really watch boredom and to examine how boredom feels like. Actually, in the past 1-2 weeks, I was thinking about this, and then I realized, even for myself, I rarely actually observe boredom, partly because over the years, I seldom get bored. Yeah, not because I keep entertaining myself with this and that, you know, but whatever, in most things I'm doing, I'm just so curious that I don't really have a chance to experience boredom. Yeah, but now I want you all to just, if possible, think back to a time where you got bored and examine how does it really feel like to really know what boredom is. Because fear is kind of easy, you know, you're scared, and then you will feel maybe even out of breath, your chest maybe tighten, your heartbeat increases, yeah, and maybe your hands even tremble. Anger is also quite easy, yeah, we are all very angry people. Then some of you are like, no, Shifu, I've not experienced fear for 3 years, 4 months, and 7 days. For those who are of this category, just keep quiet for a while. But anger is still quite easy for most people. Yeah, we feel the heat. Yeah, and also heartbeat, chest also. You know, but sometimes if you are really angry, you may even feel the skin trembling. Yeah, even heating up or tightening. Huh? What happens when you are angry? Huh? Oh, I thought you are doing this to illustrate to me what happened.
I saw someone angry, the voice like trembling.
Ah, yes.
The jaw shaking.
Yes. Yes. Uncontrolled. In most cases, it's uncontrolled trembling. From what I've learned so far, it is actually the increase in adrenaline that just causing the uncontrolled. Yeah. I can't remember which branch of medical science it's called, but they would call this the fight and flight mode. Yeah, where all pumped up, ready to do something, you know. Yeah. But what about boredom? What happens when you're bored?
I think the feeling of
Impatience. So
waiting for the time to pass,
Hmm.
time goes slow.
So impatience. How, in terms of the physiology, in terms of the body, yeah. Huh? Sometimes we can feel sleepy, huh? Do we always feel sleepy when we become bored? Sometimes yes, sometimes no, huh? Yeah. Because sometimes when we are bored, we do feel sleepy because it doesn't engage us, yeah. And as a result, your attention starts to just go and things become blur and but sometimes boredom can cause us to become agitated also. Yeah. So depending on the circumstances, we may go one way or the other. So let's look at the first type. Boredom that leads to sleepiness. Is it something that we have to solve? I'm not saying that it's wrong to solve, you know, but just thinking out loud. Yeah, is boredom that leads to sleepiness something that we need to solve?
Yes, if you're working.
Yeah, if we are working, yeah, maybe a good thing to solve. Otherwise, your boss walk past, then see Cheryl. Yeah. What are the reasons? That would be an external reason. But maybe let's just go a bit simplistic or naive and say, what happens if we don't solve it and our boss see us sleeping? Yeah. If our boss see us sleeping, like if now we switch around, if we are the boss, we are the manager, we are the director, and you walk past and you see one of your kakia, one of your staff with the computer open and how would you feel if you are the manager?
Good stuff.
Huh?
Good stuff, very good stuff.
Very good stuff. Why? Why very good stuff?
Work too hard.
Work too hard. So maybe you don't have to solve. But you have to first make sure that your boss is like him. What other responses? Come on. Those of you who are the manager or director, if you see your your staff sleeping on the job, or during meeting and you are like talking, then you're counting. How would you feel?
Need to give some more work.
More work. Yeah. So is that something to be avoided? But still, that is extrinsic reasons. Extrinsic reasons. How about intrinsic reason? Is there anything intrinsically, that means internally, purely from inside, that we should solve it, and not because something outside will do something to us?
We need to motivate ourselves.
Why? Why do we have to motivate ourselves?
Because if we don't motivate ourselves, we know that we will be sleepy.
But why should we remove this sleepiness and in turn this boredom? It seems like, we need to remove it. Why? Because we need to remove it. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm trying to ask the question, why do we have to remove boredom? Because we start off with the title, how to deal with boredom, right? That itself is assuming that boredom is to be removed. Yeah. So I'm throwing in a spana to ask, does it need to be removed at the first place? Yeah. How about you? When you attend lecture, don't worry, the camera is facing me. We are not. Yeah. Don't say your name. Yeah. During lectures, do you get bored? Say yes. Yeah.
Because some of the topics are very dry.
Ah.
Yeah, and not very some of the students may not get very interested. So some lectures last for 2 hours.
Huh?
Some lectures last for 2 hours. So when they
Right, 师傅. Yeah. So, should you remove the boredom? Is there a reason for you to remove the boredom?
Yeah, I think so.
What would the reason be for you?
Because the topic is quite necessary also.
Ah.
Particular course.
So for you, it will be because the topic, although in a way dry and boring, it is a necessity for your course. And perhaps this is one of the key things about our experience of boredom. The experience itself may seem uninteresting, but it can actually be meaningful in the long term. It's just that the experience itself doesn't seem meaningful. The experience itself doesn't seem to do anything for us. But if we, perhaps one way, is to consider, but to put our vision a bit further.
If I might say.
Yes.
I'm not sure about this, but it's a bit extreme.
Okay.
In your relationship to your partner, sometimes you can predict what you're going to do during the weekends.
Yes.
Yet you have to do it.
Yes.
Because you think that it's important to do to maintain the relationship.
Yes.
So sometimes it brings the boredom. This is what I can. This is what
it's
I want
true.
to say earlier, but I keep thinking, should I say or not?
It's good that you say, because you notice all the people who laugh when you say it, they all feel that way. And I'll tell you, relationships goes through different phases. It goes through the phase where it's not boring, and then it goes through a phase where you're unsure whether it's boring, and then it reach a point where you're quite sure it is boring. And then you will come to a point where you wonder whether you should do something about the boredom. Relationship is like our breath. You don't feel it when it's working. When it's not working, then you can feel it. When two persons come together initially, it's not boring. Do you know why?
It's a new thing.
Besides it being a new thing,
Excitement.
yes. What is the basis for that excitement?
New person.
Besides that, do you know for certainty that the girl like you? You don't know. Yeah, the excitement lies on the uncertainty. You don't know whether the girl like you. The girl also don't know whether you like her. The girl don't know whether you're going to call her. You also don't know whether the girl is going to pick up your phone. That is what creates the excitement. When now compared to after you get married or after you go steady, you know, it's called steady because it's steady, ma. And by definition, steady is boring, ma. Not up and down, ma. When you wake up every day and you wake up every day when you wake up, for married couples, it shouldn't be excitement. But there's a paradox in this because when it's not excitement, then we tend to take it for granted. We get bored with it. But the strange thing is, that is what the two persons have been working towards, to have that certainty. If you want to have excitement, that to wake up every day, wow, you know, then you shouldn't get married. You shouldn't sign a contract to make sure that it's the same person next to you every day. You know what I mean? Yeah. So unfortunately, almost built into this whole system of marriage is working towards that boredom. Yeah. It's meant to be boring. But this is the case where this boredom is actually not a bad thing. It is actually a good thing. Good in the sense that it means that you are actually able to trust that person to be there every single day. That although that person have a choice, as I mentioned in Heart Sutra all the time, that person have a choice every day to change their mind, but still don't change. And that's what makes it boring. And that's why in many marriages, for the guy it becomes boring, for the girl it becomes more and more exciting. Because the girl, no matter how long you are married or in a relationship, the girl every day wake up, it's like it resets from zero, you know. From morning, right, it's zero. And then the girl, I know. Then the girl texts the guy immediately reply, okay, certainty increased. Then after that, what is he doing? Text. Sean, what are you doing? Then Sean immediately reply, oh, I'm now rendering the whatever. Oh, okay. Then immediately, certainty. Certain until at night, until the last part, good night, night. Then immediately reply, and then even call over, good night. Even more certain. Feel very safe. Okay. For guys, you will just stay there and continue for a long time. So it becomes very boring. Yeah. For girls, like that, very high, right? Very high, right? Yeah. You spend the whole day, whole Saturday, go out, wow, do everything that she has been dreaming of. Everything. Sunday morning, wake up, starts with zero. Again, wondering, does he love me? So for girls, it's actually always very exciting.
Now I learn.
You're welcome. understanding boredom is actually a very interesting thing. Yeah. And the interesting thing is, if you look at, if you can overcome this, or first of all, before you want to overcome, you really go and examine the different aspects of boredom as it happens, and the different types of boredom. Yeah, boredom with activities, boredom with circumstances. I would call activities and circumstances as very close. Activities would be something you are actively doing, like the example of work. Circumstances would be like waiting for the lift, waiting for the bus. It's not really an activity where you're actively doing, you're just doing nothing. Yeah. And then sometimes it's also linked with people, because when we talk about people, of course some people can say, oh, I get bored just thinking of that person. But usually we experience boredom with respect to another person when we are interacting with that person. Yeah. But when you have enough of that kind of boredom, then comes the other type, where thinking of that person makes you feel bored. Yeah. The boredom actually don't come from just thinking. It's about thinking of the potential interaction. But don't take my word for it. Okay? I want you all to go back and reflect on this. Ask yourself, when is the last time you feel bored? Yeah, but this is actually the easy part. Yeah, this is the easy part. Reflecting on the boredom we have experienced. The difficult part is to observe boredom as it happens. Because if you can observe it as it happens, then you get to make a choice. The choice that we oftentimes neglect. The choice that we often default to seeking some excitement. Yeah, because most of the time, the moment you feel boredom, we tend to just go and find something to occupy us, to occupy ourselves. In a way, if I can maybe summarize boredom, it will be a sense of unease, a sense of dissatisfaction with the present moment. Yeah, you can't really put words to it, really. Yeah, but you just feel restless. From that boredom arising restlessness. Yeah. Now, for most part, restlessness is not really a crime. Yeah. But it'd be interesting to observe that. To really observe restlessness. Because once you can observe restlessness and accept that this is part of the present state at this point in time, then you will not be under its direction. Then you become free of restlessness, even as it arises. Then you gain a bit more freedom. I don't say that we become liberated immediately, yeah, but to be free of the impinging of this restlessness. Because the reason why we go and do this or do that is a combination of these two. That boredom, then giving rise to restlessness, and then compelling. We feel compelled, almost as though we have no choice. Actually, we do have a choice. And for the most part, fortunately, we all are able to make a choice. Otherwise, everybody will be going all over the place doing all kinds of funny things. But if we can really harness this and master this, then even the subtlest form of boredom and restlessness, we can see it. Then we can truly decide, what do we want to do? Because when we truly see this, then we can have a clearer look and see clearly, is this of value, or is that of value? Yeah. Because oftentimes, when we feel so bored, the perception that there's no value in what we are doing, then we anyhow whack, anything that we can just find that promise to give us a bit more value, we just reach out and grab. The upside of, besides managing that, and that itself is tremendous, is that it will help us to manage other aspects of our life, including our emotions. How much of our emotions actually is a culmination of that boredom and perhaps even frustration and resentment. Yeah, because boredom don't just appear and happen by itself in isolation. Yeah, you have enough of boredom. Well, we are very smart. We link everything together. Yeah, and the trouble is, while we link all the thing together and lump it together and throw it down at one person's throat, 做病 all because of you. No, just as an example. Yeah, and yet because we don't truly know what this boredom is, we don't really know that this is happening, and becomes just a feeling of resentment we have towards a person, unhappiness over a situation, or maybe even work. Yeah, when we, whenever people resign and they ask people to, the exit interview, sometimes people want to be politically correct, they want to burn bridges, but there are always one or two of those people who blah everything. More often than not, when they blah everything, it's also just venting of emotions. Yeah. But many times, the underlying, a lot of these small little things that accumulate over time, don't really get resolved because we are not even aware of it. Yeah. Now, if we were to take it further, then we'll find that recognizing boredom, restlessness that arise from it, is also most helpful for our practice. I remember in this very hall, sitting down here, when I was resident here, there was one time, there was quite a long puja. The other one was not this. The one I mentioned earlier was not here, okay? Yeah. The one that I'm going to mention now, it was not really a very long one, but it was longer than usual. And to be very honest, the first few moments I was a bit like, wow, how long? Like it was a thick stack of extra chanting sheet. The usual yellow color booklet, we finished that, then another stack. I was like, I look at the clock, 11 already. Usually 10:30 we finish. Yeah. Boredom still arose, restlessness still arose. But what kept me going was just this thought for myself. It was that, well, take it as a challenge, Yes, this feeling arises, but just put it aside. Yeah, I don't have to live in this feeling, this emotion. I don't have to identify so strongly with this. Yes, there's this agitation, this, wavering, but we don't have to act upon it. And to learn to do that. And just focus on what we are supposed to do. Just read the verses, chant. Da, na, 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 na. Chanting, especially when you're not familiar with the text, that was something that is chanted like once a year. So, yeah. Don't even get me started with Chinese chanting. Half the time I just ignore the chanting and I just read. Yeah. Now I'm not recommending for all of you to do that, okay? Otherwise there'll be many Bantes or Sifu who will call me and say, 你做的好事, what have you done? How come all our puja now it becomes so silent? I go around, I see everybody just reading. Yeah, but that's what I do sometimes. When I cannot catch up, you don't know what you're chanting and it's too fast, then you get bored, right? For me, I will just read the verses. And for me, it was because I stopped and read the verses that really got me interested. And I stopped feeling bored. Yeah, but I still stop and read, not because I'm bored, but because I appreciate the sutra for what it is. And because of that, over time, I've become more familiar with some of the texts, some of the characters, and it has in turn enabled me to appreciate the chanting also. Yeah. And the same goes for meditation. Meditation, as I always joke, can be a very boring process. Yeah, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. The breath is the most boring thing when it's working. When it's not working, it's very interesting. You know, yeah. Like many things in life, when things are working, it's very boring. Yeah, it's very boring. A few months back, I wish people on SGC chat have a normal Thursday or normal Tuesday. You know, we usually wish people have a great day ahead. Yeah. So I started wishing some students, some friends, have a normal day ahead. Then it's like, huh? Normal day? But yeah. We don't appreciate normal day enough. Boring day enough. Yeah. Because when it's boring, it means nothing bad is happening, you know. Yeah, nothing exciting. But why must life be exciting? Do you want your breath to be exciting? Do you want your heart to be exciting? You know? Yeah? Do you want blood to squirt out? That's quite exciting. You know? Yeah. There was one day I woke up quite excited actually. I have this very bad habit. When I sleep, sometimes I will cross my leg. Like in the middle of the night, I'll just unconsciously cross my leg. And then sometimes I'll put my hands over my head, like that. Lying down, of course. I don't mean I sleep this way. Lying down. And my hands will somehow just go over my head like that. And because of that, you know, very bad blood circulation. And then here compress, here stretch. So there was one day I woke up, maybe the second time already, the whole hand was numb. But the last time it happened, it was so exciting. Like when you wake up normally, it's boring, right? I wake up, but the day was so exciting because when I woke up, I knew that my hand was numb, but it was so numb, when I turned, I was afraid I would break my hand. Because I couldn't feel my hand, and yet I can feel the presence of that limb here. And I was like, wake up, wake up. So yeah, be thankful when you wake up and you have a normal, boring wake up. Yeah. Because I was lucky. I had the excitement only for a short while. There are many people when they wake up and they have the excitement, and the excitement happens every day. Wake up, still cannot move. Yeah. Our life as a human being is without much excitement. Very safe, rather safe, relatively safe. No excitement. Yeah. That's why we got bored walking to the train station, coming back. Yeah. But if you know that sometimes there are snipers, sometimes there's a bomb happening, sometimes there are criminals, very exciting. Yeah, not boring at all. You'll be like, you know, yeah. So boredom, not always bad. Yeah, and if you can overcome one aspect of boredom and restlessness, it will spill over to the other areas, and then in due time, when you really want to sit down to do your practice, you find that you can deal with the boredom that arises. Because our life is like a rainbow, you know, no separate parts. Yeah, we must know that our life is in a way, a contiguous chunk. Yeah, you cannot simply say, I want to practice only when I'm in BL. I want to practice only when I'm attending SGC. Yeah, at home, at work, in the supermarket. Yeah, all those moments when you're bored, have to observe it. Yeah, because next to the boredom is actually a very interesting sensation, neither pleasant nor unpleasant sensation. Yeah, go and do an exercise, and then you'll know what I'm talking about. Okay. I hope I have managed to give you all some boredom, food for thought. Put our palms together. 愿消三障诸烦恼，
愿消三障诸烦恼，
愿得智慧真明了，
愿得智慧真明了，
普愿罪障悉消除，
普愿罪障悉消除，
世世常行菩萨道。
世世常行菩萨道。
阿弥陀佛，起立。